What's going on, everyone? So today I've got lots of cleaning and organizing to do. We've got all these parts laid out everywhere, all random fans, water-cooled parts, just from all the last several builds I've done. Things get all mixed up, so it's time to reorganize everything. One of the problems is I'll need like a heat sink or fan tunnel out of one of my spare Xboxes, so I'll have to take that one apart, and I'll need something from another one, take that apart. So I'm just going to take apart all my spare Xboxes, put like all the shelves in one spot, all the face plates. I've got all my controller stuff organized here, got all the shelves down there. These are like the bumper buttons, front bezels, all the other buttons are organized in here. So I just need to do that with everything else before I start on the next build, start making more messes. So we're gonna do that real quick. Like in here, we've got slim parts, Wii parts, all kinds of random stuff. Then we're gonna finish it off by opening a package I just got today. This is the JTAG Xbox, so we're gonna take a look at that. I'm not gonna take you through the whole cleaning process here. I'm just gonna organize all this and then start making more messes. So let's get to it. Alright guys, going through, this is just the 360 stuff. It's got all these DVD drives, shells, everything I'm organizing here, fans, faceplate parts and eject buttons, more faceplates over here, vents. Realized the Xbox One S heatsink almost fits over the DVD drive spot, but it hits that capacitors there. Anyway, so finishing up this stuff, I got a bunch of other stuff organized, controller parts, metal shells in here, getting all the water cool bits there. Once I get all of the Xbox hardware and stuff put away, I'm gonna take apart this here and organize all the water cooled stuff from there, and then getting closer to opening that box and taking a look. Alright, got a lot of those bigger boxes put away, a lot of small miscellaneous stuff, and like I said, I still need to take that apart. But before I go further, I got a lot of small wiring, LEDs, other random small wires, and then the worst part, dealing with all the different screws, reorganizing all these little drawers and all that kind of stuff. Let's see how many different case screws I have for the 360. A bunch of other random stuff. But anyway, before I go further, let's go ahead and open this up. Take a look at this. Alright. So, this was from the same seller that I got the RGH 1.2 with mod chip. That great deal I got on that one. Here we are. Now he said it's got the same preloaded hard drive. I'm assuming it's also the 300 gigabyte. We've got our console here. I'm gonna have to cut all this off. It's just a regular white system, but we're gonna plug it in, test it out. This is a Zephyr HDMI, and it has the original Blades dashboard. It is JTAG'd, and we've got our hard drive here. So, awesome little bundle here. Let's take the bubble wrap off, plug it in, take a look at it. Alright, got it all hooked up. I'm using this wired controller just to make sure it still works, even though it's already on eBay. But I know it worked last time I used it, and I was just missing the little USB dongle. But here we go. If I remember right, it should have, yep, blue LEDs. And they are pretty nice strips, so I'll probably be using that in another build, but obviously this is the one that I plan to put into the ruby red shell. And that one's gonna have all red. Look at that. Amazing. Oh, would you look at that? I guess I should take that listing down. Just kind of flickering. Interesting. Alright, well, I'll have to get another controller. Alright, got this one hooked up. This is not for a specific build, just kind of threw this together with leftover stuff. But, wow, look at that. Interesting. Yep, so it looks like it's another same hard drive as the other one that came with it, which is great because I'm going to use these two hard drives that should be pretty much identical. One for the Vader, one for the Yoda build. Alright, and I gotta be honest, I have to kind of figure out where everything is. I haven't seen this dashboard in so long, but super cool. It seems like it's running great. I want to go ahead and try opening our disk tray. Alright, looks like it does open. And I grabbed the one game that is not even in here. Way to go. Okay, so we got FIFA South Africa. Oh boy. Crazy when this game came out. It's one of the first times I actually fully painted my Xbox. I painted it the Brazil colors. Alright, let's see what happens. So because he said he was unsure about the disk drive, I mean obviously he's got a lot of modded consoles. He probably doesn't even have any physical discs anymore, but sounds like it's trying to read it, but it doesn't really want to. I can hear it trying to spin up. But it's not saying that it can't play it at all, which would mean it's not the right disk drive, but it is. And I'm pretty sure it's a BenQ, and I actually have the ghost case little plate that goes over it, even though I'm not a fan of that one. I also have the XCM window that's for a slim, but it would fit that protruding circle on the top of the disk drive perfectly, so I can cut my own window out. So we'll see. We'll have to take it apart, clean it. It sounds like it's probably a lens problem, so if we can get that to work, I would like to have the disk drive in the ruby red shell. Like I said, mainly to have that ghost case see-through part on the top to kind of go with the kind of nostalgic build that I'm going for there. JTAG, blades, ruby red shell, Talus Moon fan, all that kind of cool stuff. So anyway, pretty cool. This one's going to be set aside for a little while because we're working on the Yoda and Vader build. Now here I've got two more Xboxes, even though I put all the other ones away. These are two other spares. This is a non-HDMI old Xenon. This is a Falcon. I believe this is the one that came in a Halo 3 shell that was supposed to work, and it booted up, but there was no picture whatsoever. So anyway, I'm using these as a template. As of now, am planning full air-cooled on the Yoda and water-cooled on the Vader. Both of these, again, have the disk drive problem, and I kind of plan on taking them out completely, so they'll kind of just be digital consoles. But with all that extra space, one, I can actually water cool it without the XSPC water block, because as you know, I have one left, and I am not going to get rid of that ever, sorry, unless I end up finding more at some point, but I doubt it. Anyway, so what I'm actually going to do now, these are the two brackets that came on these. This sideways block won't really work on the CPU because of all the capacitors around it. Once you put fittings on there, it's just not really going to fit. So this one with the top mount ports came with this bracket, and it's slightly different. So basically, I took the brackets off, and I need to trim that to fit because this silver frame there, it has a perfect cutout on the bottom side of this acrylic that fits this bracket specifically, so it won't fit this black one. But the black one is what I need. This is actually the right size. This one came off of here. It's the right size. I have another one there to mount it to the motherboard. My other option is to cut the ends of these off and drill holes in this bracket, But I kind of want to do it to this one first, and I still want to test it out with this one, because in the future, if this works, I can just get these blocks. These are 15 bucks. This one is like 25. But for 15 bucks, I could just get a bunch of these, cut the ends of those, and water cool 360s again, as long as there's no disk drive. With the Yoda one, I'm planning on something kind of like this. It looks like the fan tunnel will still fit with this CPU heatsink on the GPU, and I would have it turned this way because one, this fan tunnel would still cool the lower portion of this heatsink, but I'm going to have a whole bank of fans across the top of here that are pulling air out the top. We're going to have a modded hard drive shell that will allow a lot more airflow through it. It'll have the giant fan up top, full clear fan. We've got the Talus Moon fans in the back. And then with this open space here with no DVD drive, where the bezel would be, I plan to put a fan controller where I can plug all these fans into, and you'll be able to turn it up and down according to the heat. I'm sure even on the lowest setting, which is like 5 to 7 volts, that's going to be more than enough to begin with, but that's the plan for this one. We'll have some green cold cathode tubes in here, mostly brown accents and green lighting, and then of course the Yoda faceplate, which I've shown on there. And then this one would have the Vader faceplate, mostly black, maybe red tubing or fluid, and red lights and stuff like that. So that's the plan. But before this video gets way too long, I'm going to end it here. I gotta finish organizing and cleaning all my stuff, and then we're gonna start off with the Yoda build. We're gonna take apart that RGH2 and start cutting some stuff and getting it ready for the mods. But like I said, as of now, I'm still waiting on a lot of parts, so yeah, that's where we're at. Thank you guys for watching. See you in the next video. Oh yeah, one last thing real quick. I was still really back and forth on, I'm thinking of 3 or 4 different builds all at one time, but Ruby Red Shell, obviously this is a Zephyr. This would probably be the best one to water cool, but I really don't want to cut the red shell like at all, other than what I have to cut out of the back because it's not meant for an HDMI console. But that's my one issue. Now, if I could, I guess, take out the disk drive, get like a 2 terabyte hard drive fully loaded, do the same thing I'm doing to the other 2 builds, and that will allow me to possibly internally water cool, or at least put 2 big heat sinks and lots of cooling on there to keep this system cool. However, I do like the idea, like I said, of having the custom disk drive as part of the build. It's just part of the Ghost Case mod. However, if I do that, I did find someone else who is selling these heat sinks I've never seen before, where the GPU and CPU is all in one. It still fits onto the DVD drive. It's the same dimensions as the factory one, but it's one solid plate, just like the water block I have, that covers both chips, and then the GPU block and CPU, or heat sinks, are embedded into that plate, so it should improve the cooling a lot. So a lot of that heat from the GPU can then also spread out into the CPU side and cool everything at once. So if I do that, that's a heatsink I would probably do. But anyway, that's it for now.